welcome to the show. I am so happy to introduce to you some wonderful folks from the Rapoport Academy, which is just a wonderful aspect of education, public education, I might add, here in Waco. I have got Alexis Neumann, who is the superintendent
Right.
at Rapoport Academy Public School, and Sarah Jane Menefee, she's got the delightful job of telling the story
It's true.
as the marketing director, communications person. So welcome. Glad
Thank
to
you
have
for
y'all
having
here.
us.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
for people who don't know what Rapoport Academy is, just kind of give them your elevator speech,
Sure,
Alexis.
sure. So we're a little bit different. If you know anything about charter schools, we're a little bit different than most charter schools, but we're also just kind of a different form of education in general. So we are what's called a Generation 2 public charter school. So in Texas, all charter schools are public schools. In other states, it's not necessarily the same way. So you have private schools, traditional schools, and public charter schools. And so we fall underneath almost all the same regulations as traditional public schools, like your neighborhood school that you would see. So we've actually been in existence since 1998. We started with 16 kiddos in the basement of a church in East Waco, and have grown now to about 920 kids, pre-K through 12. So we've been around a long time. We're really well established, but we are also what's considered a non-replication, non-expansion charter school. So you won't see a Rapoport Dallas or a Rapoport Houston. We are really tasked with serving the kiddos in our area, which is really East Waco at its core, but it also has encompassed kind of the greater McLennan County area. So we have kids that travel in from all over to come to school. We have roughly about 16 different school district residencies represented in our
Really?
student body,
Mhm.
majority minority, majority low income, and that's really our mission. That's where our heart is. We serve underrepresented students. We serve students who have traditionally had achievement gaps, whether it's special education, whether it's economics, or whether it's at-risk categories. That's really where our heart is, and that's why we come to work every day, is to serve those kids who struggle in any other traditional pathway. And so we do education differently for them in our school building.
And it's really known for its innovation. Really.
That's right. Yeah,
And commitment to equity and opportunity
that's right.
for all the students. Sarah Jane, from your standpoint, what makes Rapoport Academy unique?
Oh, well, I'm also a Rapoport parent. I've got three
Ah.
kids in the district, and I was a Rapoport parent before I became a Rapoport staff member.
Really?
So I've loved it from the start. And one of the things that I really like personally, I grew up near Waco in a really small town. So my experience was from a small school feel.
Mhm.
And Rapoport has that. So you can have 16 kids in a classroom with a homeroom teacher and no more than 68 kids in a grade band, which I think is huge. That means that like your teacher knows you, your principal knows your name. You're not a face in a huge crowd. And that's been really, really helpful for my girls. And I know I hear that from other families who might choose to join us at whatever grade level. Maybe the traditional school isn't working for them. They need more of that one-on-one and that personal experience. It's one of the things that I love to tell people about when I talk about Rapoport is that personalized one-on-one experience that you get in the classroom.
So, Alexis, you were saying you've been there, the superintendent now since 2012.
Yeah, since January
Yeah.
of
So,
12.
tell me
Mhm.
about your journey to get to this point.
Well,
Did you always have your sights on being a school superintendent?
absolutely not. No, education wasn't my thing. So I come from a long line of educators, community college educators, board members, founders. My mom was a career teacher, just retired a few years ago, as a matter of fact. And so education's always been in my blood, but it wasn't something I was pursuing as a career. So I actually have a bachelor's in animal science production. I have a master's. Yeah, I have an MBA with a specialization in crisis communications, and I have a doctorate from Baylor in educational psychology. So very random around the world. But the way that I got here, I was a vice president at TSTC for a few years and was able to be on the higher ed side of starting the early college high school partnership with Rapoport Academy's new high school that they had just created at the time. And so I was able to see what education could be from a higher ed standpoint and also help create that environment for kids to be successful. And so my doctorate work, my dissertation work is in college student retention. And so at that point, I was able to take some of my research studies and bring it into a formation of a high school. Well, the high school got on the ground. 2010 was the first graduating class. And our founder at the time was like, hey, Neumann, why don't you come join Rapoport Academy? And she'd asked a couple of different times, and it was, no. Well, then the timing was just right. And so I came over and joined the team. And then she retired in December of 11. And then left kind of a different structure. It was actually a 3 equal superintendents. And then over the next 2 years, the board moved it around until it got to a single superintendent model a couple of years after that. And so, it was an opportunity to take my research background, to take my educational passion for kids and learning, but then to also put it into play in an environment that is literally designed for innovation and for change and for continuous improvement. And so being able to take that as a professional and bring it into K-12 education and then make a difference for the most needy students, it was just a beautiful mix. It just kind of fell in my lap, and I never anticipated being there. If you would have told me when I was in high school that this is what I was doing, I would have bet you money, and I would have lost a lot of money probably on that. But I really I can't imagine things coming together more perfectly for me, but also to be able to take the school from where we were. So the year I started at Rapoport, my oldest daughter started in pre-K at Rapoport as well. And so she just graduated and is up at Tarleton and doing great things right now. But I was able to really see a group of kiddos, a little over 40 kiddos started pre-K or kinder together and then moved all the way through graduation.
It's
and
amazing.
So to be able to know our kids at a different level, to be able to do education a different way, to be able to bring in best practices, to be able to innovate and turn when we need to turn. It's just been a really cool experience. So yeah, my background is really crazy.
I love it.
But honestly, all of the different pieces came together, the science and the research and the education and the family commitment and my dedication to really diverse learning environments. It all comes together to create this really cool place. And I just get to be a part of it. I get to take kind of some of the heavy conversations where our team is really doing the heavy lifting in the classrooms. But it's a great place. We train teachers and we train kids and we fail big and we learn and we grow. And I just can't, everything that I've been through that got me to this point has just allowed me to be a part of this team. It's really an incredible place to work.
Sarah Jane, what about you?
So I've worked my whole career in education communications. So we actually had a crossover for a few years at TSTC, where I worked in the marketing communications office, and then I worked at ESC Region 12 in communications, working for all of the school districts in the area. And
so
then
you saw it all.
I saw it all. And then I had the opportunity for my basically dream job to be able to be the communications person at my kids' school. I have the same schedule as them. I get to share and celebrate all the great things that are happening in the classroom. Last night we had a STEM night.
So fun.
That was so much fun. Kids were getting into, I shouldn't say that because it's supposed to be just November 24th.
I was going to say, that's okay.
Last night we did.
Just
A
keep
few
going.
weeks.
Just
Sure.
keep going.
So I get to share all the fun things that are happening in the classroom and out of the classroom, because a lot of great experiences happen for our students at Rapoport, where we're preparing them for college, career, and life. And that means a lot of hands-on education. A few weeks ago, we had a STEM night where all of our middle school and high school students got to come together and explore different aspects of science, technology, engineering, and math. It's a big part of who we are. We do a lot with STEM. And entrepreneurship within that. So how can you take what you're learning in engineering and turn that into a job skill, right? Or to build something that you can sell, and to come up with ideas, and be that entrepreneur who creates a new idea and puts it out into the world and is successful. We have so many stories of students like that. But then, I also got to go by an elementary classroom where they were releasing butterflies that they watched go from caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly, and
Such a
they
great experience.
It's so fun to see the learning happening and to see our students growing. This is my 5th school year with Rapoport, and it's been a really fun time to see enrollment growth, to see a lot of student successes to celebrate. So I'm really just trying to tell the stories and celebrate our students. And that's what I think about every day when I come to work.
Yeah.
How can I celebrate and shine a light on the great work that's happening at Rapoport?
Well, before we go any further, I do want to talk about the founder. You touched on Nancy
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes.
I watched her from the very beginning of this when she would go and she would buy reams of paper at the cheapest place she could find
Yes.
it,
And load them
keep
in her
that
car and carry them.
carry it.
Mhm.
It has been her passion project. And let's just talk about
has.
Nancy for a minute.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, the school would not have anything without not only her dedication, but also her foresight.
Yeah.
And so the fact that TEA, the education agency, right, in Texas, was able to allow her to open a school in a 10-page document. Our original charter is 10 pages. It's very thoughtful, and every word is meaningful, but it's very simple and basic. It's that we're going to do what's right by kids, and we're going to do it through the lenses of entrepreneurship and STEM. We're going to run underneath 6 core values, and we're going to really honor teacher training. And so what she established then to create an educational opportunity for the kiddos that at that time needed something different really kind of launched where we are today. And so even though the educational landscape in Texas is dramatically different, even just when I joined in 2010, even though it's so dramatically different, those cornerstone blocks that she put in place, like we still hold very true to today. We use the 6 core values that we operate through at Rapoport Academy. We use those in training teachers, in coaching teachers. We use them in correcting students and in praising students. We do core value awards for recognition of people that go above and beyond. And so to be able to take in 98 to recognize a need in a community, to put together the research and the academic background that is going to respond to those needs, but not only to do it to respond in 98, but to build those systems that still last
Absolutely.
in
All these years
25.
later.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy to think of that foresight that she had from then till now. Now, that being said, when I joined, we had a little over 400 students in 2010, and now we're over 900. Our cap is at 950. But I remember the days where she was the one pulling the weeds in the gardens and running the lawnmower around the campus. And, my first probably 6 months, I drove my truck. I live on a farm. I drove my truck and trailer around picking up donated furniture and bringing it back into the classrooms. And, our rugs were, used from other places. And because what she realized is kids care about being safe and they care about having quality teachers. They don't care if their desk is brand spanking new. It helps aesthetically, yes. But what they really care about is, do I love going to school? Do I feel safe? Is the learning rigorous? And am I challenged? Do I feel better about myself after walking out of the space? What our staff really cares about is, do I have the basic supplies that I need? And do I see those light bulbs in the kids? Do I make connections with families who are untrusting of traditional education?
Right.
And regardless of the environment where the education is, just organized education in general. So can I make ends with those families? Can I make a difference in the trajectory of kiddos? Then the rest of the stuff kind of takes care of itself. So we still do all sorts of creative things. We paint our own buildings. We still do all sorts of stuff like that. We keep aesthetics is a very minimum, although our buildings are clean and beautiful. It's not a real fancy place. Like even when you look at our gym, every square foot that we've just built is utilized. It's efficient. It's effective. It's very simple. It's not ostentatious because we put our money with our kids, even though we did have to build this gym so that we would have a place for our kids to go and practice, work out, PE and all that. It's very, very conscious of the dollars that we spend for that. And so again, I think those building blocks that Nancy, Dr. Grayson put in place to have the foresight to make those last as long as she did and still continue to go strong, and the battles that she had to fight to get supplies,
I know
funding,
that's right.
politics,
Yeah.
physical space. When I say I have respect for her, I mean, I don't think respect is even a strong enough word, although it's one of
Right,
our
I
core
hear you.
values.
It is
right?
one of our core values.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think to be able to just look back and say that what she was able to put in place then. Now, there are a lot of things that look different nowadays because education looks different. The STAR assessment is different. Accountability is different. Teacher
And you do
shortages
all
are
that.
different.
You do all the
Oh, we do. It's just a
assessments.
constant moving target.
Right.
But that's how it is
Yeah.
for every
Okay.
public school.
Yeah, we do all. So especially nowadays with the districts of innovation that TEA has put in, where traditional schools can accept, they can waive off things and they can accept other things. There's really not that much different between your traditional school and your charter school as far as state regulations. But we get state funding. We do state testing. We're held to state accountabilities. Charter schools actually have multiple layers of accountability that are pretty intense. So 3 years of failing scores as a district and you're shut down, period. There's no options around it. So we only get 3 years for district accountability measures to not meet. And it's either finance or academics. So if you miss either mark in 3 years, then charter schools are shut down. But we've been really, really lucky, really blessed, and worked really hard. We've had perfect financial scores, and we've had A's or B's, depending on the grade level and the campus and what we're doing. But as a district, A's or B's since the new accountability system has been released. But yeah, I mean, it's there's not that much difference between traditional schools and charter schools now, but the landscape 25, 26, 27, 28 years ago was dramatically different than where it is today. And I also think even in the Waco community, Rapoport Academy is so well established with the quality of work that we do and the kiddos that we serve, that there's a different level of respect and reputation that we have now. And that's really one of the things. My task when I took over as superintendent was to create a sustainable school that will survive any single leader that's ever there. So systems and structures and putting those in place so that it's sustainable for years and years and generations to come. And it's been really cool. We've got kiddos who graduated, and now their kiddos are coming back through the system. And so it's so fun to see.
That's
and some of their teachers get to have them too. If they were the pre-K, we've got pre-K teachers who saw that parent as a pre-Ker.
Oh my goodness.
It's very sweet. We have a lot of longevity in our staff as well.
Well, just between the two of you, how long you've both been there. I mean, that speaks volumes for the culture there and the environment. And you mentioned those. Before we take a break, what are those 6 core values?
Our 6 core values. So we live rich, RRICCH. So that's how it goes. So respect, responsibility, integrity, curiosity, creativity, and hard work. So our kids chant it every day in elementary and middle school. By high school, they're kind of done with the chanting. But that is how we do awards. We do celebrations. We do corrections. That's how we organize rubrics for staff or whatever it is we use it for. And honestly, when you think about those words, if you can live that everywhere, you're going to be a better community member. You're going to be just a better human and a better citizen. And so that's something that's really important for us. Again, came from the founder all the way through.
Yeah,
and they're timeless.
Words to live by. So much more I want to hear. In fact, you've got a big celebration coming right up with your basketball team, which is just awesome. So we will be back momentarily. Want to let you know, though, that you should go and check out the Wild Watusi Boutique in Hewitt. Check out the latest fashions there. Wild Watusi there, just down from George's, right there on Hewitt Drive. Stay with us. More of the show is ahead. A big thank you to our sponsor, Fox & Co. Bakery. Check them out for delicious baked goods and your catering needs.
So it's football season, and we can create your outdoor tailgating spaces that is actually a part of your home. Bifold doors that tie in the inside and the outside, and you can gain anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 square feet living space, all while taking in the big game, poolside. Call us at Gather & Co. Kitchen and Bath, where we can create your unique tailgating space.
Serving Central Texas since 1889, TFNB Your Bank for Life takes pride in being more than a bank. TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, your bank for life.
Hey Waco, meet your new favorite email. It's called the Waco Buzz, the local newsletter that skips crime and chaos and gets straight to the good stuff. New restaurants, hidden gems, weekend events, and stories that make you proud to call Waco home. It's quick, free, and written by people who love Waco as much as you do. Join thousands of neighbors who already start their mornings with the Waco Buzz at thewacobuzz.com.
And we are back with Dr. Alexis Neumann, who's the superintendent of Rapoport Academy, and S.J. Menefee, Sarah Jane. So you get to tell the stories, and we were kind of touching on the longevity already where there are some pre-K students who have their pre-K students.
That's correct.
There at Rapoport.
We also have a fair amount of staff members who are alumni as well, which is a really lovely thing to know that they came through our educational system and believe in it so much that they want to come back and teach, which is a really positive story that we get to talk about. But let's talk about this last year. It was a banner year for Rapoport Academy. We were able to break ground on our brand new facility, Raven Court, and within that next year, have a ribbon cutting and open this beautiful new facility that's going to be the home of the Rapoport Ravens. Go Ravens! That's our mascot.
It is.
And at the same time, while we were building this building, our boys basketball team went all the way to the state championship and they won. It was a phenomenal night. We were on the court side watching the second stare down.
It was great.
I still feel a little bit in shock about that. It was an amazing year. So we're celebrating that while we're opening a new facility, and we're having record enrollment. It's just been a wonderful time to share those stories because there's a lot to celebrate.
You know, one of my favorite things about the road to the Dome. So by the time we went all the way down to San Antonio, we serve predominantly low-income students at Rapoport Academy. And so a lot of our families, when we were on these playoff journeys, you're talking 2 hours away, 3 hours away over in Abilene. It's a long way, and our families just couldn't make it there. And so we loaded up the Yellow Dog school bus, and I jumped behind the wheel. And so the superintendent drove fan buses.
Oh, that's right. The superintendent is also a bus driver.
And, also a bus driver. But that's one of the great things about being in a small environment, right? Like I have the privilege of doing all sorts of things, whether it's some days it's changing light bulbs, some days it's driving school buses. But we loaded buses and took them everywhere we went so kids could be a part of that. It was so much fun. So December 2nd. So it's coming right up here in just a few days. So we're going to unveil, we have 5 banners that we're going to unveil for state champs. We had 2 that were achieved by one student several years ago in track and field, ended up going to Baylor on scholarship for there. And then we have 2 that were done by another student in track and field and cross country this last year. And then we have the state champ banner for the basketball team. So last year was really crazy. We had 5 state medals between academics,
in
cross
sports,
country, track and field, and then also in basketball. So we're going to get a chance to kind of unveil those banners and then our achievement boards, most of which are already full.
I know we had to open a new one for track and field.
So our athletic achievement boards, we're going to unveil all of those on December 2nd at 5:00.
So, but your basketball team, they get rings?
They get to come get their custom made state champion rings. They haven't been able to see their rings yet.
Nope.
So it's also a reveal for them as well. They got to put in their details of what they wanted, like their name, their last name.
Right.
It has the record inside the ring. It's a beautiful tribute to all of the hard work that really paid off this last school, basketball year.
Well, you mentioned college readiness. How does that show up in the classroom experience? I mean, where are your students going on for higher education?
So our students go all over the place. We've had kiddos that have gotten full rides to Harvard and MIT. We've got them at UNT. We've got them at UT, A&M, Tarleton, all the Texas schools, Arkansas, Johns Hopkins. Matter of fact, we got a kiddo over at Johns Hopkins. We've had 2 that have gone overseas to schools overseas. So, but I want to step back on that a little bit because what we believe is our community needs all sorts of people in all sorts of jobs. And when our students achieve their goal, we celebrate with them. So I am equally as proud of the kiddo that's going to Johns Hopkins as I am the kiddo that's going to Tarleton, as I am the kiddo that did an entrepreneurship small business certification in high school and is now running their family business and has made more money for their family because they were trained coming through our high school program. I'm equally proud of the kiddo that's in the military that enlisted into serving our country. So I think it's important for Rapoport Academy that we listen to our kids. We also listen to their families. But our goal is to champion, is what we call it. We connect, cultivate, and champion kiddos. So connect is what we do at elementary school. We're connecting them to education, what it means to be in education, how you learn the basics of academics. Then when they get to middle school, we help them cultivate academics and interests, but really cultivate career. Our goal at middle school is to help you deselect as much as you select. Because sometimes we don't figure out we don't like something until you get all the way to college or sometimes in your first career, right?
Exactly. No, I ran into that in the news business. I'm a reporter deciding, I don't like the
Like-
pressure of this. I don't, I
Yep.
don't enjoy this. I thought
Yeah.
this would be my
Yep.
dream job.
Yeah. So
But it would be nice to have that figured out sooner.
wouldn't that have been great just to eliminate some things?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's what middle school is all about, eliminating things. Then by the time they get to high school, either through our Triple Win program, which is a Rapoport program that we took our name off of for some political things. And so we operate a career exploration, summer camps, and all sorts of stuff through that program. But by the time you get to high school, we really help you get on 4 different pathways that have lots of entry and exit points, lots of student individual customization for that. But it helps us drive into 100% high school graduation. Which is where we live right now, is 100% high school
That's great.
graduation. But then we also drive into about 95% college, career, military ready. So give or take, a student or two might not be quite ready by the time they graduate, but college, career, military ready means they've done the ASVAB and filled out enlistment papers. It means they've done all of their college applications and they've been accepted and they're ready to go. It means they've already passed their TSI, the college entrance exams. It means that they've all taken the SAT. It means that they have at least one, but preferably 9 to 12 college hours by the time they graduate. It means
There's so many great opportunities for students between MCC and
they can do
So,
everything.
yeah.
I think one of the things for us is when we talk about college, career, military readiness, we actually start at pre-K. And we have plans all the way through that
Yeah.
help kids and families, because a lot of our kids are so connected with their families. They're such tight units. We have to work all the way through. It's not just the kid's decision. It's a family decision. And so we really navigate that with them.
Is there an individual maybe that comes to mind, like a story you can share?
Well, I always think about Rafi, who graduated a couple years ago and was one of those students who was on the borderline of not maybe completing high school. Wasn't maybe the most thrilled with...
He was disenfranchised.
Disenfranchised. Didn't love... Like, why am I learning this? How
What
many
do I
times
need to know algebra for?
Yeah, exactly. What is math with all these letters
Why?
and things?
Yeah.
But he got plugged in with our Triple Win program and was really... had the spark of a businessman, an entrepreneur at his core.
Yeah.
And was able to, number one, get a grant to start a small business after he got his entrepreneurship and small business certification. The ESB is what we call it. I had to think about what it was, how to spell it out. And he bought a vending machine and started a vending machine business, stocking the vending machine, providing it in a few locations in Waco, and really, went from being a student who did not care to someone who was very motivated and saw the end goal of completing high school and going forth with his business plans. I interviewed him and had a conversation with him about how that mindset shift helped him see high school not as a waste of time, but as a means to an end to getting him started as a business person in the community. And there's countless stories like that of students who we just had to find that thing, that spark that got them excited about their future. Everything at Rapoport is so individualized. Our current senior class, every senior class, the last few years have had the ability to do internships and practicums where we have staff at our high school who help plug them into things that they're most interested in pursuing so that they get that internship experience that you might think of as something you would do in college. I did internships in college, but not in high school.
Right.
But they spend 2 of their class periods going to this practicum and learning how to do this job, maybe rolling it out, but maybe deciding that they love it. I know that your daughter, Dr. Neumann, she was very interested in a pathway that we don't even offer.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So animal science, she's a horse girl, and animal science was her love and her passion. And so we connected her in with Fuzzy Friends. And so she did her internship in the back of Fuzzy Friends and did pre-vet work. She got her veterinary assistant certification through her internship pathway for that. So real experiences, real clients, real problems, real learning, real certifications. And so she was able to step out going, yeah, I definitely want to work with animals. But she was also able to step out saying, I don't know that my heart can take watching animals that come in that have been abused. And so she knows she is going to serve in that way as community service. But she also then figured out that going to vet school, which is where she was initially thinking, is not something that she wanted to pursue. And so talk about saving her family thousands of dollars, right? Like not having to do vet school is great. But she made unbelievable connections and she Her service heart grew in working over at Fuzzy Friends, and she was pulled more into her education. She was pulled more into academics. She jumped up in the mornings and went to school, which I don't know very many other senior parents that say, my kid jumped up and went to school, right?
Oh,
But
the senioritis is
she
real.
did. It's real. Hers started sophomore year. So.
Well, you mentioned the role of parents, and the parent is just such an important part of that
Critical.
child's education. So is Rapoport Academy kind of engaging those parents?
So that is part of our mission, what we do. So we believe that education is best done in small environments that are very relationally driven. And we do that through parents and we do that through students. So it starts, like I said, as early as pre-K. In our primary, our pre-K K1 campus, and then our 2, 3, 4 campus, we do parent academies, which is where the kids teach the parents. So they come to campus, they learn about science and math, and they learn about technology, and they do reading for that night. And it's something different when your kids are teaching you, when you walk through, and to see the little pre-K kids grab their parents' hand and, take them through the classroom. So in those grade levels, what we're trying to do is really breach relationships that have been damaged, because most of our parents didn't have great experiences wherever they were. However they did academics, they didn't have great experiences in organized school. And so we're trying to heal wounds, and we're trying to bring them in. We're also trying to teach a lot of our families about academics. Some of our academics is rigorous, and it becomes unapproachable for parents if we don't.
I know.
If we don't spend time working with them on that. So we also close school 4 times a year and do parent conferences. And so it's required. Parents have to come in. They meet with their teacher.
In person.
In person, you meet, we talk about not just here's your report card, but where's your kid and what does it look like and what's coming up and what kind of help do we need and how can we connect in with your parent? And hey, parent, what do you need? Where do you feel weak? Where do you need extra help and support? And so we listen to our parents whenever they come in, and we talk with them through what being a part of academics is. And then it shifts and changes as we move. We still have parent conferences as we move forward all the way up through high school, but then we start looking at career exploration. We start looking at college conversations. We invite our parents to the job fairs and the college fairs that we do. We do exhibition nights, like a STEM night or an art night. We do heritage nights where we get them involved in whatever heritage they recognize. And so we'll do celebrations for those nights. And so we try to make plenty of opportunities for parents to come in. We have really fun organizations like Rad Dads. The Rapoport Dads, right? So our Rad Dads will come and they'll do carpool and they'll open up doors and they're like knuckle bumping kids as they go through.
Oh, that's great.
But we had sheeting that we needed to put up on our chain link fence, just mesh sheeting, just to provide extra security. And we were trying to figure out how to do that ourselves. And one of our campus administrators said, hey, let me get the Rad Dads. So next thing you know, in a day or two, here come with tools and all sorts of stuff. And the dads just showed up and they just helped and jumped in and did it. And so I think asking and they come, I think making it an expectation, but also I think going into recognizing that our job is to heal relationships too, and to be consistent and to be trustworthy and to be open, because we're all in it for the same reasons. We just want their kid to succeed. And when you all come to the table for the same reason, suddenly you're going to see the kid succeed because we're all on the same page.
Yeah. What are you looking toward? What's on the horizon? I mean, you just completed this fabulous facility
amazing.
for your wonderful basketball team and all the great athletics that are going on. But what's next on the agenda? You say you have a cap for your student population.
950. We're
so
essentially
not looking
there.
to maybe in the future a strategic plan to get it bigger?
So I don't know that is something that I'm interested in. I think one of the reasons why I came is because I bought into the belief that our founder brought in, which is school is done best in small community-based environments. Yeah. And so I think if you expand much beyond where we are, you get to a tipping point where it's really hard to know your families. Yeah. It's really hard to be able to see a kid walk down the hall and know them well enough that you can tell that their shoulders are down. Yeah. And to be able to connect in with them and say, hey, why the long face, right? When you get too many, they become just a body that moves through the hallway. And so I really think we would lose some of the impact that we have on kids and families if we grow much bigger than where we are. So instead, I think, how do we get better at doing what we do, right? If we had the magic bullet to be able to get low-income kiddos to perform on the state assessment at the same rate as their more affluent peers, then we'd be making millions of dollars. And that's not where we are. However, What we can do is continue to be innovators of best practices, and we can continue to evaluate best practices at our campus, at our different grade levels, and see what works for our kids. We can continue to press into social and economic factors. We can continue to press into mental health and what that looks like in a school environment. We can continue to press into growing teachers because we have an enormous teacher shortage. And Rapoport is no different than everywhere else that is feeling it. And so we're trying to grow our own. We're trying to bring in alternative certification teachers and help them get ready for the classroom faster. We have a tiered professional development system that we're trying to put into place and really refine so that we can ramp up the effectiveness of teachers really rapidly, because a more effective teacher is a better outcome for kiddos. And so I think those are the things we're looking at, is getting better at what we do. I think for me as superintendent, continuing to create that sustainable environment that grows on best practices, and that's not stagnant, but at the same time has systems in place that allow for innovation and change, without losing those foundations of who we are and why Rapoport Academy works. So I think that's kind of, for me, what's coming up on the horizon. I don't know.
Well, I would agree with you in that I always say, well, we're smaller, so we should be able to do it better. Like, we should be so good at communicating with our families, and we should be, just innovating on all of the best practices. And sometimes it's hard to find all the hours in the day to make it happen. But I think for me, it's just continuing to let people know that we're here in Waco. We do have wait lists for most of our grades, but spots open up. And it could be that our school is a great fit for your student. And it might not be every single one of your kids, right? You might have one who is not thriving. We have some weird entry and exit points. We have people who come in pre-K kinder and they go all the way through 12th grade. It's really fun at Senior Walk, which is that fun event at the end of the year. We have the seniors get out in the order of what campus they started at. So
really?
If they started at our pre-KK1 campus, they get to walk in there first. And we take little group pictures. So we'll have, a pretty big group in front of each of those places, and then a really big group that joined in like middle school. But we have people join us mid-year in high school sometimes. So if like an educational current location that you're at is not working, apply for Rapoport. It's free, letting people know that like we've had so many success stories and so many families who are pulling their hair out trying to figure out how to make school work for this child. We might be a great fit for you.
Yeah, the answer might be just right there.
Exactly. RapoportAcademy.org. Come check us out.
Do you do fundraising, or is this?
We do somewhat. So most of the funding we get comes from the state of Texas. So we get an average payment from the state of Texas. So we get more than half of the public schools, and we get less than half of the public schools. And so that's just, when they established charter schools, that was the easy way for them to just kind of make it consistent. And so we have to be pretty frugal. Again, this is one of the reasons why I drive buses and change light bulbs too, right? So we have to be pretty frugal with what we do. Our fundraising, we don't ask any funds from our families. We already know that they're low income, and they will not put food on the table in order to support their kids. Right. And so we want to be very careful. So our kids don't pay for college tuition, books, fees, transportation, basketball shoes if they need to, if they need help.
Even the SATs are free and covered by the school.
Our kids, we don't ask them to pay for anything. But if anybody does want to jump in and help out, they're welcome to. They can contact SJ right over here.
The
they're welcome to do that.
person too.
But we do, we write grants for special projects. We, if we're doing curriculum, we'll write some of the grants from the Texas Education Agency or things like that to do special initiatives. But really what we try to do is be good stewards every day of the dollars that we're given. And so we're pretty efficient and pretty effective with what we do.
Oh, that's amazing. Just any closing thoughts about what you want people to understand about Rapoport Academy?
So I think, there's lots of things. We're free, we're public, right? We're small, we're relationship based. But I really think the thing that I would love for people to recognize is education is different today. And what I really hope is that every child finds that place that sparks their love, their love of learning, their love of themselves, their love of their own future. And there are so many high quality educational opportunities in Waco. Rapoport may not be your place. It may be your place, and that's great. If it works out, wonderful. But I want every child to have a place where they feel seen and they feel heard and they feel like they have a future. In that spot. And so if there's anything I can do to help anybody out with that, that would be great. But at Rapoport, we're trying to do that in a very specific way. And again, it's not right for everybody, and that's okay. I don't make any apologies about what we do. But at the same time, there is a spot for every kid. Every kiddo out there, there is a place that is going to help them find that passion and find that interest. And so at the end of the day, I'm an educator, which means I love kids. And I want every kid to be successful, and I want every campus, every school to be successful. But I really want families to just love on their kids, listen to them, and find that place that's going to help them thrive and help them really grow. And if anybody has questions about Rapoport, they're welcome to call me. I love talking about it.
Yeah,
Well, I would just say we are the place where we're really focused on helping students succeed in college, career, and life. And that extends through so many different areas of what is taught in the classroom, outside of the classroom, on the basketball court, or
Wherever.
the track, things like
Or
that.
the soccer pitch now.
That's
Yeah.
right. We do have soccer now too. But I just think that there are a lot of opportunities to plug in, both as a staff member and as a student at Rapoport. We have job openings on our website from time to time, and it's a really close-knit community.
Yeah.
Employees love each other. It's been an amazing place for me to plug in, not only to support my own kiddos and get to see them during the school day, but to just work alongside some really passionate people who really believe in making the best future for our students. So,
and again, that website.
RapoportAcademy.org.
Yeah, and that,
RAPOPORT.
yeah, no, not two P's at the beginning. It's RAPOPORT. There are two P's in it.
There
That's true.
But, yeah.
There are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
this
so
has
much for
just
this
been
time.
a delight.
Yeah.
Your passion and your love for what you do is just infectious, and so I appreciate.
Thank you for the opportunity to come talk about what we do. It's a really great place. So any
And
chance you
check
get.
out our sports too. You're welcome to come catch a
Yeah.
basketball game. You might see the next state champions too. Who knows?
I listen.
Who
Right
knows?
down the street at Raven Court. We're on Elm Avenue, so right across the river from where we're at here and at the Alco.
Yep.
And our schedules are on our website as well.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks for the
Check it
opportunity.
out.
I appreciate it.
Well, loved having you here. Thank you. Stay with us. There's more of the show ahead, but I want to tell you that you need to save the dates. Talking about December 3rd through 7th, the Clifton Chamber of Commerce invites you to celebrate a Norwegian Christmas in the beautiful town of Clifton. We'll be right back.
Bubble wasn't here, I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
This is what $500,000 in a duffel bag looks like. Actually not real. That's because it's actually prop money. It looks realistic from a distance, but up close you can see it says for motion picture purposes. Visit propmoney.com today to get your money seen or money shot right with Prop Money Inc.
Studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. us.muc-off.com.
Friends for Life needs volunteers. On Thanksgiving morning, they prepare, package, and deliver over 800 meals to people who would not have a warm, home-cooked meal otherwise. They prep food the evening before, package everything the morning of, and then spend the day delivering meals. They need the volunteers to help package, prep, and spend time with clients. You may be the only person that they see that day. Make volunteering a part of your family tradition this Thanksgiving with Friends for Life. The Central Texas Food Bank will be hosting a food distribution event in Waco before the Thanksgiving Thanksgiving holiday. This event will take place from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. Saturday at Waco ISD Stadium, located at 1401 South New Road. This will be a mobile pantry site where citizens can drive up and volunteers will load their car with food. The food bank says that no ID or proof of income is required and that anyone who's in need of food is welcome to show. I'm Elizabeth Riley with your Act Locally Waco News, and I will see you next time.
Natural Cycles identifies your fertile window by analyzing changes in your temperature. Just measure in the morning, add your temperature into the app, then learn which days you can and cannot get pregnant. It's that easy. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops. Made clean, made to clean.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
If your home's feeling a bit dated or you're dreaming of that beautiful outdoor oasis, I have got the team for you. Gather & Co., the family-owned remodeling pros right here in Greater Waco since 1998. Led by the Falconberry family, they specialize in stunning kitchen and bathroom makeovers. Think custom walk-in showers, sleek cabinetry, and aging-in-place upgrades for easy living. They also nail outdoor spaces with pergolas, patio covers, sunrooms, and screen rooms that turn your backyard into a year-round retreat. What sets them apart? Personalized designs, top-notch craftsmanship, and a hassle-free process for free in-home consultations to spot-on completion, plus financing options to make it simple. Customers love them, raving about the friendly crew and attention to every detail. Ready to gather in your dream home? Call Gather & Co. today, 254-759-1147 for a no-obligation quote.
But boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com. Launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. You like.
Hey, Raven families. The hard hats are off. The letters are up. Come join me for another sneak peek here at the Raven Court. You know, creativity is one of the core values here at Rapoport Academy, and we're bringing that all the way in through the gym. We're not just about athletics, but we're also about art and student expression. So in this gym, we're going to have multiple pieces of art exhibited. The first one is actually installed right here beside me. Not only this, we're going to have a history wall, we're going to have a sports display, we'll have trophy cases to exhibit that part of it, and then ultimately we'll have at least one mural, but our plan is to have lots of murals here in the space. But first, let me talk a little bit about what you see beside me. This is Velocity. So Velocity was inspired by student design and initial student creations. Then it was brought to life by a local artist, Andrea Lavalure, and she has brought Velocity in. It was just installed yesterday. It's a 3-tiered nest with mobile floating movement that's caused by the ravens that are also right here in Raven Green. So when you walk into the gym, the first thing you're gonna see in the lobby when you look up is Velocity. Here we are. Look at the stack behind me. This is the actual floor that's going to be going here in the gym. You can see even up above, we already have basketball goals being installed. Not too long, we're going to have places where we have all of our sports records for all of our teams. Our state championship banners are going to be posted. You'll see all of that whenever we get to open up this summer. We're hoping for a midsummer reveal once everything is completed. There's a couple of other things I want to update you though on. Our concession stand is in, so that's going to be places where you can get snacks and candy. And then there's windows right here behind me where you can look right into the gym and not miss any of the action. Of course, in a brand new gym, we're not bringing food inside, but you'll be able to grab some food and watch through the windows as well. Lockers are on order. The benches are coming in for the locker room. We've got weight equipment that's upstairs. We got an incredible donation from Baylor of some really impressive weight equipment for our athletes. They're going to be able to build not only their stamina, but also their muscle strength. We're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to do yoga. We have a classroom going in upstairs. There is all sorts of cool stuff happening in this space. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. Again, be on the lookout midsummer.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator. Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's kitbag.com. Kitbag. Since 2014, we've been creating vegan, clean, and affordable skincare with proven actives and potent botanicals designed to treat your ever-changing skin. Celebrate our first decade of transformation today at facetheory.com/US-EN. Face Theory.
Tasmanian spring water range from Sand and Sky. This range is really good for dry and dehydrated skin like myself, packed with 2 types of hyaluronic acid, fermented sea kelp to reduce redness, and my skin feels so dewy and so hydrated.
Finding a sleep sack that my baby likes has been a struggle.
The sleep sack from Joy is a major upgrade.
It is all natural eucalyptus, which is breathable and hypoallergenic.
When you live somewhere, you never do the tourist thing. Well, Mrs. and I have been in Waco for over 10 years, but today we are finally at the silos because it's Silobration. They're celebrating 10 years of Silobration. There's vendors, there's food trucks, there's music concerts. It's your weekend plans, and we're going to check it out.
Let's go.
We picked the right year to come. It's the biggest Silobration there's ever been. There's over 80 vendors here this year. In fact, I mean, there's so many different things to do and buy, jewelry and hats and charcuterie boards and everything else in between that I've lost Mrs. So if you see Mrs. here this weekend, can you just send her back to the English guy? Mrs.?
Pick up some tea or some coffee and hang out. There's all kinds of different food for you to enjoy. Maybe pick up your own Barbie dream house or play Barbie herself. Drive heavy equipment. Wait, what was the last one?
I've never seen a group of 40, 50-year-old men become 10-year-old boys. We're all waiting in line to drive the heavy machinery. It's hilarious.
It was just a bunch of dads acting like kids in a candy store. They'd let you sit inside, give you a quick briefing, and then they just unleash you and you'd go play. I'm not sure you can tell how much fun I was having.
That was way too much fun.
As was firing the air cannon.
Mrs. and I are old enough to remember when the silos was just this abandoned industrial area. It'd be a great place to shoot like a zombie movie, and now it's like transformed.
What I really love is that they kind of kept it exactly the way it was. I'm like rust stains and all. And like right now it's so beautiful. It feels like Disneyland for adults. And it's very impressive.
It's really nice and relaxing.
It's just like, we're going to take a nice stroll through someone's garden.
Oh, let's continue taking a stroll, shall we?
Please.
Silobration continues today and tomorrow. You should check it out.
A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com.